Hey, hey, hey. Naomi Janae here for the Womb Portal series, day 2. Today we're going to be diving into sexual abuse awareness. So just a forewarning, just a trigger warning if there's anyone that is sensitive to this topic, just please, heed with precaution. If anything feels overwhelming, definitely feel free to step out of the live video or to pause it if you're watching it at a later time. Really quick, before we even get into the topic for today, make sure you're following my business page. I tagged it in the paid partnership for this live. It's at Mother Womb Codes, CODES. So just make sure that you're following my business page. Make sure that you are signing up for the live webinar on February 22nd. I'm really excited. There's going to be so many women on this webinar. It's free. Subscribe to the Mother Womb Code so you can get all our emails and updates and offerings that we are bringing together at this time. So we're just going to wait a little bit longer. I know you can probably hear the background vibes, but we're just going to wait a minute or two before we get started. So please make sure that if this video resonates with you, that you like, that you share it, that you tag a friend in it. Just make sure that you are, resharing this content, because it's very powerful. It's very nourishing for others. You never know who may need to hear this message today. So let's just, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. We're going to let the music vibe out. All right. Well, I trust that the people that are meant to see this video will hop on at the right time, and I trust that the people that are meant to see this video will see it and will resonate with it. Let's dive right into Womb Portal series, day 2. Today's topic is sexual abuse awareness. So like I said, this is a very sensitive topic. This is something I actually have talked about years ago. I made a whole Facebook Live about it, and the power of reclaiming yourself and reclaiming your power from sexual abuse, and what that actually means and what that actually feels like. So I mentioned this yesterday on my first video, but for those of you that know me personally, you also know this, as most of us have experienced this, right? Most of us have experienced some form of sexual abuse or assault, and we have, endured this throughout either our childhood or as we got older. And so most of you know already about me that I've endured a lot of sexual abuse in my life as a child growing up from the time that I was 8. Up until very recently, to be honest. I would say within the last year or two. And it really took me a long time to really understand why this cycle kept coming up of me being sexually abused, and why it kept recreating and remanifesting itself in my life. So before I even go into all of that, I really just want to say, if you are a person that has been abused or assaulted in any way sexually, my heart goes out to you. My love goes out to you. My compassion goes out to you. I stand with you. I understand that pain. I understand that. And, I really want you to feel like this is a safe space for you. And that's why I come forward with my truth about my sexual abuse, because it's my truth. And I no longer have any shame about speaking about my sexual abuse. I no longer have shame about speaking about my sexual trauma, because this is real life. This is real shit. This is stuff that happens to women and men every single day. And it's stuff that can cause us to go insane. It can really cause us to go insane. So I really just want this to be a safe space. So if you're here, thank you for being here. I really want this to be a safe space for you to feel like You can allow yourself to like comment or whatever you need or ask questions. If you need to cry, go bawl your eyes out. It's okay. Like, I'm here for all of that. But anyway, I really just want to talk about like, how does sexual abuse affect us? It like affects us in so many ways. So I'll say this: if you're a woman and you've been sexually abused or sexually assaulted, this affects you in numerous ways, right? This obviously starts to affect how you relate to the world. This starts to affect your relationships. This starts to affect your relationship with self, with others, romantic partners. And you also, for me, when I was like abused, it was a very difficult time for me because I really struggled with sex, to be honest. I struggled because my womb felt so much physical pain when trying to have sex, because it was locking up all of the trauma that I had experienced as a child. And so if you know about, womb healing or whatever like that, like, that womb stores trauma. Your womb stores all of the trauma, or your sacral center, your emotional center. It stores and it holds all of the trauma. And so this like ripple effects into your life. Like, it literally starts to ripple effect into everything. So for me, it led me into insecurity, jealousy, competition with other women, and not to mention, right, that this was like a mother wound for me, right? Because my mother, when I told her the truth of what was happening to me at 8, she didn't believe me. So this really drew me into believing that if I speak my truth, nobody's going to listen. If I speak my truth, nobody's going to believe me. I was being sexually abused for 4+ years, and my mother did not believe me. And so as a child, I rationalized in my mind that my mother's right and I'm wrong. Being abused is normal. And so I started to accept that behavior in my life. I started to accept that abuse was normal. I was to do what I was told. And I was taught that my body was an object for a man, or for anyone in that matter. And sorry, guys, commercial over there. But anyway, I was really taught that I was just a tool, basically. And my sexual abuse experience really made me feel like there was nothing I could do. Like, I had no power over my body, that whenever I was in a relationship with a man, I automatically had to do whatever he wanted, right? And a lot of you also know this. I think it was about 1.5 years ago, I put out into the community someone that I had known in Jersey, a part of the spiritual community, who was intentionally doing this to women. And I was one of those women, and I spoke out about the truth, and it kind of just created a huge ripple effect into the community. But I really didn't care that it created a ripple effect, because I was like, listen, this is my truth. I was abused by this man, and I want other women to stay safe, because it was not only me, but 2 other women that had come forward speaking about this person in the community. So I really just want to like point out, like, you have to really trust your instincts. Like, you have to trust your instincts. You have to trust your gut. I don't care how spiritual somebody is or what authority they hold in life. If your body is giving you signals that this person is not safe, then they are not safe. It doesn't matter if they hold a specific title in the community, or if they're a teacher or a priest or a parent figure, any type of authority figure, or someone that's very well known in the spiritual community. It doesn't matter. If you have an instinct, if you have intuition that is telling you something is off about this person, or they're touching you in an appropriate way, and you're feeling unsafe around them, and your body is having hot and cold flashes, and you're getting tense, and you're constantly in your mind, like, your body is giving you full insight into what is going on right now. And I also really just want to point out that women are not the only ones that are abused. Men are abused every single day. I personally know of a handful of men that have been sexually abused growing up as well. And the sad part about it, the sad part about it is that men feel like they actually can't even come forward about it either. So, and it's you can see these signs. You can definitely see these signs, and sometimes it can be really, really difficult to address this. Like, we kind of normalize sexual abuse, right? Like, what goes on in this house stays in this house. I know I was taught that for a very long time, and I'm here to squash that shit. No, Absolutely not. What goes on in this house, if it's fucking toxic, it needs to be brought to light. The truth needs to come out. Hey, Janasia. The truth needs to come out. Like, and that was a thing in my family, right? Like with my mom, like it was kind of like this keep it a secret thing. And shout out to my little sister, because she's the one that believes me and was my rock during this entire situation, the entire time. So, you know, I really just feel like if you're being abused, like in any way, by anybody, first of all, if you're watching this video and you're that person, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to hold space for you and be there for you in any possible way that I can. And, you know, I really feel like my sexual abuse, right? Like, I'm not talking about it from a place of this is a badge, right? Like, this is not something that I walk around like with a chip on my shoulder wearing every day to show off as a trophy to everybody of like, ooh, like, no. It's a very personal, sensitive, intimate experience that happened to me. That was a violation and that traumatized me as a child and growing up and led to all of these things and experiences in my life, right? Like we think, oh, that happened when I was a child, so it's no longer going to affect me. Wrong. So just imagine, right? Like that version of you that was abused, right? For me, it was an 8-year-old girl. Imagine that 8-year-old girl, right? Imagine like she's innocent, she's carefree, she's wild, she speaks her truth. She's not like, right? This is how kids are. They have a huge imagination. They love to do all these things. They have no limits. They will do whatever they want. And they're very bold in their truth. So imagine like this little 8-year-old child of you, all of a sudden you see them sleeping, but you start to see like all these bruises and wounds forming on their physical body, right? This is what happens as we get older, when we have experienced any trauma for that matter. When we constantly recycle and replay that trauma in our consciousness, in our mind, we are wounding that inner child, because our brain does not know the difference between living in a present experience or just the thought of it. And so if you are constantly having thoughts of this trauma, you are constantly telling your body, I'm reliving this experience over and over. And so when you go through this trauma, your body has certain defense mechanisms, right? Like your body does certain things. So this is why when I got older and I was starting to be intimate in relationships, why my body would freeze up. It would literally freeze up because it was a defense mechanism from when I was a child. And so when I started to release those things in my body and to really work on my subconscious mind and the healing of that, I started to really see, and it really started to unfold like, oh my God, I've been living in my trauma for the past 15 years and I'm not even physically there anymore. It never happened. And so I want to say this because this is important. This is really important what I'm about to say. Whatever you relate to as God or source, creator, the most high, the universe, Mother Earth, whatever is your version of God or the creator, that part lives inside of you. And so that part of you can never be tainted. I'm going to literally say that again. That part of you can never be tainted. It can never be harmed. Nobody can steal it from you. Nobody can abuse it. It is the part of your soul that is literally untouched. It is untouched. And so I know some people are probably going to be like, yeah, okay, Nay. But I'm like, this still happened to my physical body. So how do I don't believe what you're saying. What I mean by this is that if you believe in a higher power, right? If you believe in a higher power, that is the only power, right? If we believe there is a God, if we believe there is a most high, that must mean that is the only power that there is in the universe. That means that all these things that try to come against you or all these things that try to harm you, the thoughts, all these different things, they literally can't. They literally can't. Because God is the only power. You are God. You are the only power in your reality. And so I'm going a little bit off tangent here. Just stick with me. But essentially just what I'm saying is like this sexual abuse awareness topic is really just to bring awareness around like how taboo sexual abuse is and how we're supposed to keep it in our families and never speak up and talk about it, or how sometimes our family doesn't believe us when we've been abused. Sometimes our family just says, oh, you're a child, you don't know what you're talking about. I've had that said to me multiple times. And that really messed me up as a kid because it taught me that my truth was not real and that it wasn't valuable. And so I carried that over into my present life, not now, but the me then. I carried that over into my life and created all these scenarios where people were just reflecting that to me, right? Like we like to get mad at other people sometimes, but literally people are just reflecting to you how you feel about yourself. That's really all that it is. And so I was constantly attracting situations and relationships where people did not value me, where they did not truly love me, where they didn't honor me, where they didn't treat me as sacred, where they didn't respect me, where they ridiculed me, where they silenced me. I was constantly creating these situations because that's how I viewed myself. And so I was attracting these relationships in my life. Why? Because I was still operating from my wounds. I was still operating from the space of I have been sexually abused, and I was telling myself every day, I am this victim of sexual abuse. And I was replaying that story in my head every single day, not realizing that my body was responding to it as if it was actually happening in the present. And so when I started to really just unravel all this information and healing and working on the subconscious mind and working on my emotions and working on my spirit, all these different things, when I really started to work on that, I started to see mass transformations. I started to see my outer reality was no longer, relationships that were dead-ended, or people that want to abuse me, or people that really don't care about me, or people that don't honor me or respect me. I started to see that was no longer my reality. I started to see people were supporting me. People were loving me. People were open to hearing my truth. People were uplifting and empowering me to speak my truth. People were respecting me, like all these different things. And so I just really feel like when it comes to sexual abuse, like reminding yourself that the God inside of you can never be tainted. The God inside of you can never be harmed. The God inside of you is forever untainted, because it's the innocence inside of you. It's like that inner child, right? That mini you inside of you. She or he can never be tainted. That is the whole thing about innocence, right? And I just really quick want to say, I know I'm saying the word God a lot, and that might trigger some people, but I love how Stephanie Sinclair says it. She says, until you heal your relationship with the word God, it will always trigger you. So that's just a whole nother thing. But just for those who might be triggered by me saying God, it's not what you think it is. And I have definitely done my own healing around that word and around religion. So I just want to put that out there because I know that word bothers some people. But anyway, I think that's really all I wanted to put on here for today. I just really wanted to bring awareness to sexual abuse, that women aren't the only ones that go through it, and men go through it too. And sometimes they're just way more silent than women are when it happens. And, in that sense, like I said, if you are experiencing any form of abuse in any way, please feel free to reach out to me and hit me up. I would lovingly love to hold space for you and be there for you and be a support. I don't ever want you to feel like you're alone. I love you, Karen. Y'all go check her out, by the way. She has an awesome business, Karen's Creations. Go check her out. But I really I will save the video. I really just want to just share and express the love inside of my heart from this place, because I really thought that my sexual abuse was who I was. I thought this was my identity. I will never be anything other than this. And so now I have used this experience to catapult me into reclamation of my power, reclaiming my truth, reclaiming my innocence, reclaiming my body, reclaiming my womb, reclaiming my mind, reclaiming my spirit, reclaiming all of it, because it's mine. This is mine. This doesn't belong to nobody else. I'm not anybody's object or toy. Like, you know, and I might be joking around a little bit here, but trying to bring in some lightness and playfulness, because your temple is divine. You're holy. You are sacred, right? And I really just want to emphasize this. I really, really do. So again, this is Womb Portal Series Day 2. The topic today was sexual abuse awareness. If this resonated with you, please like and share this video, because I know that it will support someone else who may be going through it. It may not support you at this moment in time, but there may be someone in your long line of friends or family members that may really have needed to hear this message today. And like I said, again, you can sign up for my free live womb webinar on February 22nd. All are welcome. That includes men too. So, yeah, and I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm really grateful to those that tuned in and that are sharing this cohesive heart space with me. And I'm really excited to just keep posting these, because I'm finally able to put out the full truth and to put out what it is that I do. And I'm really excited. So if you are wanting to check out my website, the link is in my bio. You can see all the offerings I have. And I do want to put this disclosure that I have worked with men. I have worked with men. Men have been my clients before. So this is not only for women. It is mainly tailored towards women. But I do work with men as well, because there are some men that really want to understand this knowledge. So anyway, I love you guys so much. I'm so glad for tuning in with you guys all. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow on the Womb Portal Series, Day 3. I love you.